recording. Awesome. Good morning, everybody, and hello to our online friends. We are back. I hope you all enjoyed your week off. Some of us were on spring break. Some of us were only on a break from Real Moms. But we are back. We are here and thankful to be together today. Thank you to our volunteers for bringing breakfast this morning. It was delicious. And today we have a guest with us. This is Nick Pease, the director of our care center here at Grace. And so we're going to learn about the care center, why we care, what we do, and why that's important to God. And we're going to have a little tour. And then next week you'll have a chance to serve in the care center. And Nick is a wealth of information. Nick has been on staff here for how many years? 5 years. Okay, Nick has been on staff here at Grace for 5 years, and most of that time serving in the care center. Nick and his wife, Caroline, have 3 adorable little boys. And what else do you want to tell about yourself, sir?
Oh, I think that covers it. I just don't know if I'd agree with adorable.
I've seen them.
I don't know if that's the word I would use.
I got to hang out with your middle one at Easter, and he was very sweet. So just so you know. So anyways, and I gave you a microphone, so it should be on and good. So Nick, tell us about the care center. I'll let you take it away, sir. Thanks for being here.
Get used to the mic here. Hey, all right. Hey, good morning, guys. Good morning. A few of you said it. Okay. All right. Hey, there we go. Thank you, Brooke. Hey, thank you so much, first of all, for allowing me to be here. I love hanging out with you guys, and I love being able to come to Real Moms every year and share. And I love connecting with you, and I will not lie. Yes, I also love that I get breakfast. So, if all of the leftovers are mysteriously gone this afternoon, or, when you guys are done, I don't know. I don't know where they went. Hey, thank you again so much for allowing me to be here. As Kara said, I've been at Grace for 10 years, so maybe that's where she got that. Me and my family, we've been here for about 10 years total now, and I've been on staff for the past 5 years. And it's been super blessed and super fortunate for those past 5 years to be on staff in the care center. And just to be a part of that ministry and to be a part of the work we're doing. So just out of the gate real quick, has anybody ever heard of the care center? All right, hey, very cool. A few of you have. Has anyone ever been in the care center or served in the care center? All right, very cool. Okay, so what I like to do is kind of take a step back and kind of give like the big overview, and then we'll kind of drill down a little bit. I'll get into some of the details, and then I figure what we do is I'd give you guys a chance just to ask any questions you have. We'll do a quick walkthrough. We'll circle back. We'll end up here. And I'm sure as you walk through and you see it, if anything pops up or any question that spurs any questions, we'll have a little time at the end for a few more questions. And then we'll wrap it up. So, sound good? Good? All right, lovely. So, what I like to say is Grace Church is what I believe a very unique church. And since the very beginning, it's always been a church that's believed in action. Grace Church has always called its people to action and to doing and to stepping out. And church is not simply something that you do on Sunday morning and, all right, hey, have a great week, and we'll see you here back next Sunday morning. Living out your life, following Jesus, having a life of faith is also all about what happens between, Monday through Saturday as well. And so that means from the very beginning, Grace was sending, Grace has been sending out missions trips, and so we have trips going to all the way to, Ukraine and to Haiti, all the way to downtown Indianapolis, and all the way, all across the globe. We have these relationships and these ministries that we're working with, and these partner ministries we're working with, and building these relationships, again, being active, being in our community, serving. And what happened was we recognized about 10 years ago, we have all these amazing things happening where, again, we have partners in Canada and we have partners in Ukraine and in Africa. But we recognize hey, we don't have really anything going on right here, right now in our own community. And at this time, if you do a little math, you rewind to about 2008, 2009, 2010, times were still a little tough, economic recession. And so Grace said, hey, how can we step into that place and how can we help right here in our own backyard? And so they looked at a couple of different things. They put a team together, and they researched hey, what if we built a homeless shelter? You might not realize there's actually not a men's homeless shelter in Hamilton County. Still, now 10 years later, there is not a homeless shelter just dedicated to men, and so that's a void. We also live in Hamilton County where there's no public transportation, so they looked at that. Again, Looked at it 10 years ago. Now 10 years later, still Hamilton County is the wealthiest county in all of Indiana. And yet, if you live in Fishers and you have a job in Carmel and your car breaks down, you have no way to get there because we have no buses, we have no public transportation. And so it's definitely some big areas they looked at, but what they landed on was, even though there was lots of other food pantries, what they decided to do after that research and after studying was, hey, you know what, we think that we might be able to do a food pantry a little bit differently. And so what they did was they launched a food pantry. And you'll see the room that it was in. It started out very small, and it was one night, and they didn't know how many people were going to come, and they didn't know what was going to happen, but people started coming. And then more people came, and then more people came. And so the pantry went from being one evening to being then 2 evenings, and then 2 evenings, and then one day during the day. So currently now our pantry is still our biggest service, and we offer, there's a few things that really set us apart and make us a little bit different. And I think what I'll do is I'll save that stuff for when we're in the pantry. I'll talk about a little bit of that. But so we started again as a food pantry, started very small one night, and we've just grown and grown and grown since then. So again, the food pantry is still our main service. Even before we launched into our new space and we expanded in the area we're in now, we ran a couple classrooms, open 3 times a week for 6 hours, and we were serving about 500 families a week. So we were over time, like I said, we grew and grew, and very quickly we became the biggest food pantry in Hamilton County. And so again, there's this recognition, this belief that you live in Hamilton County, you live in Carmel, life is great, life is good. Oh, you live in Noblesville, great schools, great area. There's not really need in Hamilton County. But what we know and what we've seen week after week, month after month, year after year, is that there is actually great need. The problem is it's just right below the surface. It's kind of hidden. If you go to McAllister's and you order a sandwich and you're talking to the cashier or the person in the back making your sandwich, that might be their job. And that's their job that they've had for 5, 6, 8, 9, 10 years, and that's where they're at. And they're making $10 an hour. And they want the exact same things. That real mom wants the exact same things that you moms want. That's good schools, good neighborhoods, safe neighborhoods for their kids. And so they're trying to raise their family and do the best they can. But when you live in Hamilton County and you're making $10 an hour, or maybe your husband, works at a school and it's seasonal and he's a bus driver, or works landscaping and it's seasonal, and you're not working part of the year, it can be really hard to make it. It can be really hard to make ends meet. I believe that you're probably all aware, again, $10 an hour, even $12, $15 an hour. It's really hard to live in Hamilton County on that. And so what we found is we're really able to kind of step in and help, again, those families. Again, live in Hamilton County, just need a little bit of help to get by. We're able to kind of step in and help make ends meet for those families. So food pantry is one of the big ways, the main ways we've helped support families and care for families over the past 9 years. But again, as we grew and grew, what we found was, hey, we realized there's some other ways that we can step in and help families as well. So the second thing we started doing, our second service we offer the community, is we have what we call Referral Services. And this is where we sit down with families one-on-one, connect with them, care for them deeply by hearing their story, hearing what's going on, and then recognizing that each family is unique, each story is unique. And so it's not just a 10-step program that, hey, you do these 10 steps and you're going to be good. It's a recognition that each family has their own unique set of circumstances, challenges, issues, and so it's working with that family, having them assisting them in self-identifying areas they want to work on, things they want to improve on, to move towards stability and sustainability, to where they will no longer need the food pantry and need our services. So this is where I poke fun at some of you guys. What's your name? Kristen. All right, so Kristen has a job. She has money. Things are going okay, except for she likes to use Amazon. True? No? Sometimes. Okay, no, I'm just joking. So Kristen has a job. Money's coming in. But again, Kristen's just never learned how to use a budget. You know what I mean? And so she doesn't know how to manage, how to pay the bills, and how to do this and how to do that. And so what we do is we just simply sit down with Kristen and we help build out that plan, and we help her in that process. And so, again, financial is a big area that we help families, and that's a big area we have to sit down and, again, help them or work on that area. And so, but, that's kind of maybe the area that Kristen's got to work on. What's your name? Pamela. All right, nice to meet you, Pamela. So, Pamela's in a bit of a unique situation where, again, maybe she's got So mommy coming in, she's retired, she's got an apartment, like things are okay on that front. She doesn't really need any financial coaching, so hey, that's good there. But you know what? We recognize that, Pamela's kids are grown. They're off on their own. They're living out of state. She doesn't get to see them a lot, doesn't get to see the grandkids. We're like, hey, Pamela, when's the last time you hung out with a friend? Pamela's like, I got lots of friends. Pamela has no friends. No, no, I'm joking. What we recognize and what we want to do is we want to look at the whole picture and look at the holistic view of someone's life. And so that's really kind of what we do in referral services. And so we look at the financial side, we look at the spiritual side, we look at the physical side, but then again, we also look at the social side. Man, we know, you have your papers in front of you, start to hit on this. One of the broken places in the world is isolation. And we see it over and over and over again. And even here we are in Hamilton County, there are people everywhere. We're just bursting at the seams. It is so populated, but yet we know family after family comes in, person after person comes in, and we just see people that are lonely. We see people that are isolated. And so what we do in those monthly meetings, what's really cool about the Referral Services program is about 90% of that is what we call our co-op program, where we really enter into an agreement with families, and we say, hey, Jackie, if you agree, you have to apply, interview, and if you get into this program, Jackie, we're going to walk with you as long as you're willing to walk with us. And so it's an agreement, it's a partnership, and so the volunteers that sit down with those families are the same volunteers that stay with that family from day one all the way until a year later, 18 months later, 2 years later, until those families graduate out of that program. And again, that's what's really unique about that program is we might have a mom that's working through a divorce or a situation, and she might need about 6 months, of coaching and assistance to kind of get her life back on track or get things to a better place. Some families need a lot deeper help and a lot deeper assistance, so it could be a year, year and a half, 2 years that we're walking with those families. So Referral Services, kind of spent a few minutes there on that. It's just an amazing program, and I share that. It's because what's really cool there is that's where we really see life change. It's where we see transformation and, just very, very cool things happening in that program. And so one last thing, I'm going to go out on a limb. Have any of you guys ever heard of Chip and Joanna Gaines? Anybody? Anybody? Okay, all right, okay, a few of you. Okay, so you've seen the show. You've seen Fixer Upper. They go into the house, and they're like, oh, my gosh, this room, we just got to get rid of all of it, So really, that's the comparison I love to make with Referral Services. What we're doing is we're connecting with families. We're looking at their house. We're walking into each room with them, looking at each room and saying, you know what, hey, this room, not too bad right here. Just a little paint, some new light fixtures, we're going to be okay. Then they go into the kitchen, and they're like, oh, we've got to completely tear this thing down. And so that's what we do. We help families tear down what needs to be tear down, but what we're doing is we're rebuilding. We're in that process of rebuilding that house, or we're helping them step by step rebuild kind of their life and put it back together. And then on the end, when they do that big reveal and those homes are so beautiful and amazing, you're like, oh my goodness, how did we go from here to here? Again, that's the beauty of Referral Services. We've been able to take some families that are in a really difficult place and step by step move them to the end to where they end up at the end as just a beautiful, beautiful thing. So inside of that, tucked underneath that, is what we call vehicle services, because again, in Hamilton County, no public transportation. And so for those families that are in the co-op program, what we do is we offer a very unique and kind of special perk to them is that once a month we offer free oil changes, where we do an oil change, a safety inspection, we help do headlights, windshield wipers, things like that, to help those families keep their vehicles safe and on the road. Because again, we know that if you're a family, a single mom, or a family that's in a little bit of a difficult place and you're trying to work, and then your car breaks down and you have a $500 repair, $1,000 repair, it is really hard to pay that bill on top of everything else. So we're doing what we can to help keep those vehicles safe and on the road. And then the last service we offer, we have 4 unique services. And the last one that just seemed like the next kind of natural thing to offer our friends is a few years ago we started English classes. And so again, we had so many friends coming to us from all across the globe. And then a couple years back, we're having all these friends come to us from Venezuela. And we're like, oh my goodness, this is pretty incredible. We have doctors, nurses, engineers, lawyers, teachers, professors fleeing the terrible situation in Venezuela. They get here, and what we recognize was they're not even starting, they're trying to start a new life. again, they want the exact same things you and I want. You know, a good space good neighborhoods, a good place to raise a family, good schools, and they're starting their life from scratch. And so, but we recognize this, they're not even starting at ground level. They're starting way below ground level because their certifications don't carry over, their degrees don't carry over, none of the schooling they got carried over. If you have a nursing degree in Venezuela, guess what? You can't just walk into a hospital in America and get a nursing job. It doesn't work that way. Next thing, or the real hurdle, is you recognize that they don't speak the language. And so we know we had a husband and a wife, a couple, they were both lawyers in Venezuela. They were working at Chick-fil-A because it's the only job they could get. And so we started English classes as, again, just another tangible, real way to help care for families, love families, again, in a real way that's going to help move them towards sustainability. And so one quick story, I walked up there one Monday evening on English class, and I walked up there and we had some like high school students and college students from Carmel sitting at a table, and there was my sweet Venezuelan grandmas, as I call them, and they're sitting at a table and they're playing Candyland. And I'm like, sorry guys, what's going on here? We're playing a game. I thought they were supposed to be doing English class. And like the kids kind of looked up at me, their students looked up at me, and then like it clicked, it dawned on me. When you're playing Candyland, what are you talking about? Colors, numbers, shapes, and it's like, oh my goodness. So what a beautiful image. You have a 17-year-old, girl from Carmel with a 75-year-old, grandma from Venezuela, and they're sitting here playing a board game. But really what they're doing is this student is caring, for this woman in a real way, a practical way. And there's fun and there's joy and there's laughter in the midst of it. So just an incredible picture, an incredible image of, again, the way that we're trying to, again, just love and care for families. So I've talked for a long time. I want to stop talking. I've covered a lot of info. Out of the gate, does anybody have any just like burning questions? Yeah. Yes. Oh my gosh, I didn't even. Questions about the stuff I've mentioned so far. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Yes. Yeah, that's okay. I've noticed. The thrift store was launched and birthed a few years ago because we recognized, hey, wait a minute, what we're doing is awesome. We want to keep growing what we're doing. We want to keep expanding this and serve as many families as we can. But milk, eggs, all those things cost money. And so we realized, hey, if we were to launch a thrift store, every single thing that would come in would be donation. So there's no cost there. Therefore, every single dollar that is spent in the thrift store is going to be pure profit, pure money that's coming right back into our care center operations. And so, again, we did the research. We connected with Goodwill, other organizations, learned how they do things, and we launched our thrift store. And, again, just the whole idea is that you can donate your clothes, shoes, small household goods, no refrigerators, okay, no dressers, nothing big. And we're going to sort it, go through it, put stuff in the store, present it in an honorable, clean, great way, so our friends can come in and shop and, again, feel like they're shopping in a real store. They're able to buy clothes for $1, $2, $5, provide for their family. You guys can go shop in the thrift store, buy the coats, buy the pots and pans, buy all these amazing things we have, knowing that, hey, I'm achieving a couple cool things here. I'm helping things be reused and have new life, so broken place of decay right there, but also knowing that every single dollar that I'm spending is going right back into this care center ministry, which is going right back into my community. So, sorry, I don't know that you asked a specific or I answered your specific question. Does that work? Okay. That's more my shopping than. Yeah. Gotcha. Well, come shop. So we, of course, like everything, we launched in January of 2020, and we were open for a few months, and then like everything, pandemic kind of threw things in a crazy whirl. And so we've recently reopened the thrift store, and so it is open to anyone and everyone, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday from 10 to 2, and then Monday evenings from 5 to 7. So it's open to the public. Anyone can shop there. And then also we do have a website as well where we don't sell everything there, but a few specific items are on the website. Yeah. Yeah. Any other questions? I'm trying to see that clock back there. Okay. No? Nothing? All right, well, let's do this. We're going to take a little field trip. We're going to walk. I hope everybody has your walking shoes on. What we're going to do is we're just going to take a big lap. We're going to take a circle. We're going to go back to the end of the building or back to the building. We'll loop through the food pantry and kind of through the back, the warehouse here, and we'll end up back in here, finish up with any questions, and yeah. All right, we good, Kira? All right.